Herbal 150 million person have kidney disease. That is the number.
Common causes are generally hypertension, inflation, and diabetes. And even with communities, we use a lot of herbal remedies, drugs that they purchase from chemist shops, which includes painkillers and others. This also contributes to kidney diseases. Some drugs like the Phenac, the Metadine, the Recam, common drugs that are used for pain, for arthritis, they're out there and people condemn that way they have hazard they can cause their kidney. When supervised while using them. High salt intake and also hypertension and to kidney disease. We also have to curtail the amount of salt that they consume on a daily basis.
Professor Chema also advised residents to drink more water.
Between 2.5 to 3 liters of water a day should suffice. But again, you have to look at the ambient temperature of the environment. So during the hot seasons, when we are bound to sweat more, it means we need to take in more. If you check during the wet seasons, you discover that it won't be so thirsty. So our need for water might not be as much as we will have during the dry season. But water is something that is very vital. So when we don't take enough water in our body, we will get dehydrated. And severe dehydration also can cause a form of kidney disease, which we call acute kidney injury.
Also, a consultant pediatrician, a nephrologist, UPTH, IFOMA, and OTA, pregnant women and nurse mothers to be careful of medication they take to avoid exposing children to risk factors associated with kidney disease.
There are anything to predispose children from born, things we call congenital problem, which is not have in the womb. And so, pregnant women to know what to do when pregnant to avoid some of this risk occurring in children. And then there is so in the prenatal period, the drugs they take in pregnant can lead to going for antenatal, delivering in with people that are not experienced because of asphyxia that will affect the kidneys are essential organ removing waste.
All right. So, the guest has made himself available, appeared from nowhere. He is the host of Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Kaladakoru, but hello Kalada, good morning.
Hello Sam, Oracle is good to be with you on the show this morning.
Good to have me, see guest.
I said good to be with you on the show.
Yeah, you almost said good to have me,
yeah,
so you're not on Monica, I beg your pardon. You're not on Hard Facts. Okay, so far we've talked about the Ramadan, which started this week. It has begun, and the World Kidney Day. But let's begin with Ramadan. Do you have any Muslim friends?
Yeah, a couple of Muslim friends. Like you know, the politicians would say, this is a time for us to pray and you know, hope that the country gets back on track. It's not like we've been a perfect nation, but it's that time when we get to reflect. You know what they would also say: the spiritual controls the physical. So this is the time, you know, not just the Muslim faithful, the Christians as well. This is also, I think, the Lent period. So, you know, both religions should go spiritual and hope that our leaders will get the right motivation from God and, you know, take us to the promised land where we're supposed to go to.
The problem we're having you as a guest is on-air conversations would come off as off-air conversations, because I already see an argument loading. A lot of people, professionals, I would say, would talk about how, I won't use the word futile, but how prayer is not the solution to Nigeria's problems. It's a case of citing examples where countries that are not as religious have things working because they have people in place doing their jobs. So, and, you know, I don't completely share the sentiment, but I understand where it comes from. So what good would prayer do if we don't appoint the right people into the right positions?
Sam, I only quoted what they said.
Okay, you quoted.
Yeah,
okay.
But you know, with the argument you brought, let's take a little bit of the American history. In God they trusted. They still trust in God, and I agree. You know, there is the God factor, there is the human factor. We're lacking both the human factor and the God factor. So I am saying, you know, let's go back to God, and maybe God will help us put our leaders in the right direction, and we'll get the human factor right.
Finally, on this, do you pray for your country? Do you pray for Nigeria?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
When things get really hard, you know, you have to pray for the country.
Once a year, once in 6 months, once in 2 years?
Once the money finishes.
Okay, that's good. Okay, finally, again, I said finally earlier, with your Muslim friends, are you expecting that after the Ramadan,
I go,
some meat will come your way? Mm-hmm. Have you told them?
They know already.
Okay, that's good.
But that does not mean you should come and look for me.
Moving from that to World Kidney Day, I talked about what some experts have said. You should take care of your kidney. drink lots of water, be very careful the kind of medication you take, especially herbal concoctions and mixtures. And another consultant said that pregnant women and nursing mothers should be careful as well what they expose their kids to. Do you take care of your kidneys, Kalada?
It's a good thing you're my colleague, so you see me every moment with my bottle of. I ran into the studio, so I didn't come in one. I always have my bottle of water, always.
Always.
I was with a former colleague. I was visiting a former colleague at the UPTH this week, and I mean, I was made to realize how much we should take care of our organs, most especially, the kidney and the liver, because once your kidney begins to, or even the liver begins to act, I realize it affects many other parts of the body, so each organ is attached to the other, and one can really do without the other necessarily. It even affects the brain, I was told. So you really need to take care of your organs. Drink a lot of water. I'm not saying, the soda companies should go extinct or something, but let's focus on drinking water. I've drank more of water. I don't think I've drank soda this year. It's been water because, man, as we age, we just realize the organs are not as sharp as they used to be.
Yeah. We have a break coming in about 2 minutes. Many Nigerians are not proactive with their health. They don't go for regular health check. In fact, they are mostly reactive. When a person goes to hospital, it's because they already have something. Yeah. Why are most Nigerians reactive with their health?
First of all, I do think it's the cost of the health system. But it's gracious of the River State government, for instance, to now bring up the health scheme. I can't remember the full name, but there is the health scheme. Also, I do understand that the federal government is also looking at, ensuring that the health scheme is, workable, because, it's expensive. Even people who have, the ailment that they know, a known ailment, they still can't afford their drugs. And we're hearing about substandard drugs and all of that. So people are reactive because it's expensive, and, there are chemists nearby where they can mix like it's a DJ. They mix the drugs and,
Okay, well, after the break, we talk some more. There are allegations that happened this week about senators padding the budget. There's something along the lines of a local government law, and we'll be asking questions around what an opposition should look like. Please stay with us. Agent 93 Nigeria. I'm Sam or 2. This is where we take stories king head through the week. Batubo right here, Kalada.
It sounds funny, singer. Morning.
Yeah, but that's you are the host. You have to think with Mike 1. What can be conversation phone line, and you can just do 89030 on Facebook and Twitter. That you can listen on those keywords. Another interesting thing happened this week. Matic A is the legislature. The suspended Senator Ningi allegation 3.7 trillion naira to 24 but Ningi is suspended for months after a long summit and the member of the operation in the same of Ibrahim first motion for the suspension 12 months of allegation of misinformation and each piece at the National Assembly. However, other lawmakers paid for the reduction of suspension and the party contested both votes, which most lawmakers voted in support of the suspension for 3 months. Meantime, Senator Ningi has resigned his position as Northern Senators Forum. So, I Kalada of taking a man 5 and Kada, maybe my boss, immediately suspends me. Is that suspicious?
So in that, I think some was a meeting. There was a plenary session where I read from Cross River, from one of the senior Cross River, stood to about the 500 million stuff.
Okay, yeah.
That said, in that session, I think it's more. He mentioned that the Asian country had already done some donation where the 37 trillion now that came was the GOEs, and I told GOEs that government owned the process. GOEs, judiciary and the legislative government. So it wasn't with the budget that was given to the senators, when they were doing whatever they were doing. They had the appropriation committee. So I mean, I'm not there. So they put those stuff under. And I think Jaigwe was arguing at the time that if that be the case, then this should be seen as an oversight. And I also remember in Jume, the chief whip, talking on one of the national TV, I think it was channels or so, where he also mentioned that he warned Abdul Ngi and said, hey, go there, check well, find the consultants. You are mistaken because they would have had him. So, some people are arguing that this should be some cover up. Abdul didn't get you wanted to shout at the screens. Others are giving saying it corrupt.
If the body language of Senate is making look away, if the having shall thief and one person, if that's how uses that you run,
it's not that you're
no, that's Iblu.
Yeah.
The rest of the centers that make.
But I said, some it's about Alime, Dari, paying front to state, all making it look like there is in suspension, and there's to take into court. I remember well, I'm saying maybe it was of what is in
mission and peace.
Yeah, that's what. Now you suspected that it may lad him they're corrupt. I wouldn't say they're, but look like.
All right, 7900072300. WhatsApp is 09016. We're not going to tweet it early, but on YouTube and that.com/ Nigeria info. Thoughts we have discussed about we then we're talking about Asian budgeting by the president supported not by the source of Ningi his allegation of party. Their thoughts shortly. Hello, good.
Good morning.
Good name.
What's your name?
Was good.
My name is Bilo.
Blessed.
Studies on of Ningi. 20% about people. Let me tell you the truth, my brother.
How can you?
This man alleged that budget the Friday something to the naira. If there is either of that go through things, it may have your side to look this matter because we read this man. And this man is a northern part of Virginia. It's Jamaica. See, we are so part of the boys. It's your different feel that they approve. They are making that so. My brother, I think that we had on this thing. When you see the two say so, then all this to one the other. See the country. So this is the pattern we have from local so that bread will come to them.
Oh, bless you much. First of all, that you started by that their allegations. So I'm guessing you got right. But I had the questions for him.
Okay. I want to ask him that what was the RT? How sure is he that Ningi did not make error? Well, it showed the Northern Senate forum that this is a 3.7 billion or trillion. I keep saying this trillion, 3.7 trillion went missing. It could be good mistake. I mean, I say, there's something missing in others, and then someone comes and shows me and say, okay, what is this? I could be mistaken.
Nothing is certain right now, Canada. You have different sides of one story. Only investigation. Supposed to. This is why I maintain that the body language of senators is not making them look good, but it's saying innocent. But when there's an allegation, what for is how can you prove it?
So, I don't want to use the real word, but in all claims, right? I will have just think how to say it, right? Because the defend and you need judge.
Yeah, nobody should invest. We have lots of boards.
Those board measures, going to say, but are also not necessarily free of. Let's look at the FCC, for instance, not the FCC might want times boys. So if it is from the angle, will the FCC be able to actually do a thorough job, not compliance? The boys not compromise.
You have corruptible people, incorruptible them. If you build a system that works, right? For example, you leave every time you take the call. You drop down, yes, system. So yes, you have people who are robbed. You have maybe have some trust, but if you to them, yes.
Even in the UK, The return for all at the COVID.
Okay.
I mean, going and
let's take souls. Good morning. What's your name? Where from? Go ahead.
I think what you said is correct. It has also set up to look for dedication and also because it came out yes, but everything considered and then about people from this we are the office for that we mount okay and for the name this of this over 100 is just to fraud and what plantations why is that government that don't get for consideration don't know that the so you can straight up your which would think and hear that some or I shared or thank them shared 5 million more not get to
I don't know what you might want to say.
But we've had patients who has to mainly so it's lobs you could eject in 20 even react not the actual the question be whether you are you constituency you to 20 and question the way you are lineal in York to see you seeing with the senior big age are you seeing kinds of participation through about 105 million in has the
from passion needs and just had no partnership and need for the budget and any other explain the present. So that's the one who relation and this is on our spends nation be present where the in the as it to be analyst and suspect so because the Dr. Mo and intelligent
I would have shown me not long he wants to planted enough to but he said to a stronger estimate which is going to the attention the you should have struggling to hold it focus again slack.
Quarter was referred for rankings received 100 million for their considered project the 24th batch and was made on Sunday pledge to moving to position political institute. This question is aimed at the all progress in which says similar to the vision developed in case of the ABC Tony Okadi's at a conference titled Reign of Creatorship in Rivers. The party said in Mr. While it implements the VA government is ending vacant on consumption government and world in faith.
Has the accuse of some corruption is less is an aspect by against that
was emphasized the party shall not the government to undermine the diverse setting. And actually, they knew with the quality of opposition against the painting River State Public Secretary of the Bar said the responsible opposition not even infrastructure. The culture has down in both opposition, strong interest in payment.
In that time, we'll let you fully opportunity that opposition politics is not really about as long as issues and DP comes a possible position, not one being by stoking and whose aim to constantly remind the people of River how that deceit and power. Not Tony Oka needs to reconcile his side yesterday in the fear of administration and solely to ridicule himself in the name of infacted opposition.
Kalada, you have through different administrations, you want Nigeria politics feels that like. How should the opposition conduct themselves? What is a responsible way to oppose?
If you want to look at it from a national view, up until a few election cycles ago, we've not really had viable opposition. For instance,
you think?
Yeah, from 1999 up until I'm not saying there were no opposition parties. I'm talking about parties that will put the government on the show, because in government we're told that opposition parties are meant to shake the government and make sure the government is doing the right thing at every given time. So PDP had their 16 years up until 2014, 2013, 2014 when the main party All Progressives Congress was formed, and then we saw opposition do what opposition did on social media. They were on the streets protesting who do not increase fuel, right? We saw that play out. We also so APC get into power, and it looks like opposition till down because PDP were struggling to survive, and then Labour came in 2023, and the table all again. But when we come to local really, it's always been different. It's always been political from the get-go. So we could be the same party. I could be opposition now, and I also opposition is I've defined this system that ensures development for the people. We could have different political ideologies. Even the basic is that we haven't developed the people are feeling dividend of the government. Okay. What we see in area oppositions criticism out prosecution. Even valid, like in a Sigbara, it makes points. We governmental action. We need a system where they deliver arm and the secret government in some kind of synergy. They don't have to be friends. They don't have to shake hands. They don't have to go for practice together. But it has to be synergic in constitution. The arms are supposed to be. It's not the government, it's the executive, it's not the governor. The legislators are also part of the government. So all armed government would have to find some kind of synergy so that we can have a functional government. One thing I would go to the America or to the United States. I remember the time when Trump was president. He had the falling out with the is it the Senate? Is it the Senate? The reps now? I can't remember. Yeah, and they almost didn't have money to spend. And they were talking about, going into a situation where the civil service will also shut down because there was no synergy.
Yeah, but you see, you have described the importance of an opposition. I'm concerned about implementation. How should you do it? Is there a wrong way? Because the response to Okocha is be creative with it, right? So say you're governor or president. I'm in an opposition party, and my job, among other things, of course, is to criticize you. Constitutionally, I should do that. Now, if I say Kalada is clueless, he doesn't know what he's doing, he's running the state a beer parlor, say a couple of things, right? So maybe recommend what should be done in it. Alternatively, say, no, this is how things should be done. This is where our state is supposed to go. Have you heard a wrong way from the two different statements? Is there a wrong way to go about opposition?
Now, I started with what I said to show that we have not really played opposition according to the book. So, we in the country may not even have the experience as to what a good or wrong or good or bad opposition
we have our version of politics and democracy, so we'll make do with what we have and of course improve on it.
We're improving on it, that's what I'm saying. But the point is, if we go by the books, which is I'm trying to say, the basic is development. So you can come out and say you're clueless, right? Or you can use your way and say, oh, this is not the way. I mean, everybody got his own style of doing things. However, the basics should be, and like Marcus, I get on this issue during the week said, the basics should be, how do we get the economy of Rivers up and running? How do we get our tourism back so that we can generate enough money? How do we get a transportation system? How do we ensure that the farmers in Eche are very productive? How do we ensure that security is improved upon? How do we ensure that the primary health care? So, when you come out as a Tony Okocha and you want to criticize, like I said, you've got your style, you're free to do it. What about you say, I understand the balloon part. What you like the actual gives open to the going to so
ultimately they come from us the assumption about themselves the comments of Tony Okocha. They also party as also the view of the politics in state.
Clearly, this is what asked from the Trump's views. He has to we must know that the government is and respect action with sense of speaking.
On his part of 8, the Democratic Party is not to criticize government, but in providing solution. It's also a valid movement, the Party White and County Action Party. But we need to it's 173. Please go. Good morning. Good morning.
In America, money.
But let me just say, when I like it, I'm not supporting it. Is it me like the UK out? Deliver
hello?
Is it agree because maybe they don't share it very well, it did not get
a lot of the commercials you must get now relegate it's called get free. Good morning. Yeah. Well, getting position assistant whether the rules are run just not plan comprehensive delegation made by the local government don't let it from it's all late question does not like before they carried out you share the method of men when we want it says that old practice in other Chris. Okay, says the action scheme for change to change. Please I refrain. That's why you can't come up with it. All the tie to Nigerian situation, some of the speech is also represented by being actions in the back of the same people and it's productive or also method and the events that would electronically rate we know what this spell. Never says we will knock you at the time other and
I need to all cast that by and see we'll announce no to make war there I guess
data don't take out the that Saturdays around us.